Hey everyone, details regarding next season for World of Tanks Modern Armor is now out. The season will be called Warlords and it will be available from April 1st to June 2nd for 9 weeks. In this video, we'll go over everything you need to know about the next season, which includes free rewards, basic season pass rewards, ultimate season pass rewards, returning map, upcoming Cold War line, quality of life improvements, as well as Walhalla event, which will be part of Warlords season. Starting with the stage rewards, which are more or less same as our previous season. You get the same amount of gold, consumables, as well as war chest. However, we have to keep in mind that the war chest will be labeled as Warlords war chest. It will be more or less very similar, if not identical, to Viper's war chest, but there might be some differences or changes based on the feedback they received during Viper season, as there were a lot of complaints from players when they changed the war chest from general war chest, private, and Sergeant to Viper's war chest or season war chest. So there might be some minor changes, but for the most part, the war chest will have similar drop rates as Viper's war chest. However, do keep in mind that if you're close to getting a guaranteed tank from Viper's war chest, you have to buy those Viper war chests before the previous season ends, as you will not be able to get those chests once the Warlord is live. For tanks, we'll get a tier 5 Hydrostat, it's a pref tank. 2 tier 8s M48A2 Rompanzer and M46 Patton KR. A new tier 9 Italian Heavy Fleece. And a new top tier RR3 tank object 490 Belka. So let's take a look into each one of these tanks in detail. The first tank on the list is tier 5 medium tank Hydrostat. It's available with basic season pass at stage 25 reward. It is a pref tank. However, comparing it to previous season's level 25 reward, it is a lot worse, as last season we got tier 7 light tank. However, for stage 25 you can expect either a tier 5 pref, or a tier 5, or a tier 6, or a tier 7 tank. And with the Warlords season, we are getting the worst tank for this stage reward in terms of gold value. Next on the list, we have M48A2 Rompanzer. It's a tier 8 US medium tank, available with basic season pass as stage 75 reward. The tank is solid and balanced. It has a weaker gun as well as a huge hatch on the turret, which is compensated by the additional armor on top of its hull in the form of a shovel. So anyone who regularly plays World of Tanks know how annoying those shovels could be. And even tier 10s will struggle to pen the shovel when you're moving or pushing towards them. But of course, you do have the extra protection, but it's not invincible, as it does have a huge hatch on the turret as mentioned previously, as well as not the greatest rate of fire. But overall, a balanced tank and an upgrade from previous season's stage 75 reward. Next we have M46 Patton KR. It's a tier 8 US medium tank, available as a free reward for stage 100. The tank, even though it's a medium, but offers completely different playstyle compared to the level 75 reward M48A2, as this tank is better in every attribute except the hull armor. So of course, when they are BRTU, there are higher chances of penning your hull. But other than that, if you're playing hull down, you have better camo, you have better DPM, mobility, gun depression, as well as the hatch on the turret is not that big. So if you are someone who likes camo or like general mediums, you love this tank. And for someone who prefer to have better hull armor, they would prefer the level 75. But for me, both these tanks are solid. But my choice is M46 Patton because how it plays, as well as how it has better gun and mobility and camo attributes. Another note for this tank, currently the trade up or trade in is going on, and this is one of the tanks that you can trade in. Because you know that you will earn this tank back, you can trade this tank in for a tank that you want, either a lower tier, which you can essentially get it for free, or another tank which you can get at a discount. But do keep in mind, when you trade in, you only get the 50% value of this tank. So this tank costs around 8700 gold, so you get 4350 gold back or towards the tank you are trading in for. So that is one option. Don't forget to use that opportunity. You might even get a tier 6 or for free or a tier 7 at a huge discount that you're interested in. So that's a good thing about this tank. Now moving to the exciting part, which is new tanks. For World War II, we are getting a tier 9 Italian heavy tank Felice available with basic season pass as stage 100 reward. Looking at the stat, it feels like a medium tank with decent mobility, but suffers from gun handling as well as DPM. We'll go over some of the stat. It has 1850 HP, 900 horsepower, 15 power to weight, forward speed of 45 and reverse of 15, hull and turret traverse of 30 degrees per second, 8 degrees of gun depression, 20 degrees of gun elevation, standard penetration of 256 and premium of 310 with 480 alpha, 2.5 seconds aim time, 0.42 accuracy, 13.7 seconds of reload time, as well as a base DPM of 2100. It gets 40 shells, standard is APCR, premium is heat, and third shell is HE. View range of 380 meters. And the significant difference between this tank and other Italian heavies is that this is a single shot and not an auto reloader. But overall seems like a balanced tank. The tank comes with a 3D skin as well, which can be earned as stage 120 reward. And as I always stress or encourage to finish at least 120 stages, because not only will you get a tank that costs 14,000 gold for free, you will get the skin as well, which costs additional 3,000. And the last thing I want is someone to pay for the skin for a tank they got for free. So don't stop at stage 100. Do finish stage 120, as it's not that hard to do so. So you can get both the tank as well as the skin, as I said, for free. It is 17,000 gold, and basic season pass is the best deal that comes out in the season. Everything else is expensive, and you don't even have to grind that much to get these rewards. So highly encourage, if you have the time, get the season pass and get the rewards as well. Next we have is Object 490 Belka. It's a top tier Era 3 tank destroyer available with Ultimate Season Pass. The tank has high penetration, high alpha gun along with the siege mode mechanic. The tank is very good for the Era 3 matchmaking as it encourages holding gameplay. So looking over the stats, it has 3900 hit points, 1000 horsepower, 18 power to weight. It goes 80 kilometers forward and in reverse while in drive mode, and 30 kilometers forward and reverse while in siege mode. Hull traverse of 28, turret traverse of 30 degrees, turret yaw limit of 120, so it does not have a fully rotating turret. So make sure you're playing behind a tank, you're not the first one, because once they flank you, you can easily lose your hit points. It does have a penetration of 900 for standard shells, 760 alpha, aim time of 2.4 in drive and 2.3 in siege, accuracy of 0.33 in drive and 0.3 in siege, so slightly better accuracy and aim time while in siege mode, as well as gun depression, reload time of 13 seconds, base DPM of 3511, standard is AP FSDS with 1980 shell velocity, and second shell is HE. The gun depression in drive mode is 10, and you get 14 degrees of gun depression in siege mode with 505 view range. So the gun is still usable while you're not in siege mode, but you get that extra attributes, extra accuracy and gun depression while you are in siege mode. So the tank is not as useless as a tier 10 Sturv when it's in drive mode. It is more like the Era 2 WZ tank destroyer we got last season. So it will always be effective in battle even when in drive mode, but you get that extra punch. So as long as you make sure you're not the first tank to fight and prevent the enemies from flanking you, the tank seems like a solid tank. Also, it is a top tier tank, which means the tank cost 22.5k gold, and you can get this tank for only 4,000. So for someone who plays Cold War, again, this is the second best deal. The first best deal is the basic season pass, and the second is the ultimate season pass bundle. So you get a top tier R3 for 4,000 gold. The other way is obviously you grind for hours and hours going from Era 1, 2, and 3. This is obviously the more cheaper option, of course, if you have the gold. always keep enough gold for the next season basic pass if you're a free-to-play player. And if you're not, you can kind of decide. If you have the gold, buy this tank, definitely recommended. You don't have to buy any other tank that comes out in the season. You have to buy these tanks. So this should be the first priority. The tank also comes with a hero skin, which usually costs 3k gold as part of Ultimate Season Pass bundle. Moving on, Ensk will be returning to the game. However, it will only be available in World War II game modes for tier 3 to tier 10. It is a smaller map, so favor heavy tanks. And we'll have a map tutorial video once the map is live. But for now, you can check the pinned comment to see how this map used to play. And for the first 2 weeks, the map will be at a higher frequency, and I would encourage you to play heavy tanks. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated if you're in a medium or even in a light tank and you keep getting this map again and again, as you can't really use camo in such a small map, even though this map has a field. In addition, they might drop this map to tier 8 like they did with Liberty Falls, depending on the gameplay, because our meta is much more faster than it was when the map was last in the game. The map will have standard team destruction as well as encounter game mode. For quality of life improvements, we'll be getting team health bar, where you can see the friendly as well as the enemy team remaining health on the screen. In addition, server select will be added to the launcher, which is a returning feature. In addition, the emblems that were removed with Viper's season will be added back permanently, including the googly eyes, so you can purchase them at any time like before. And the 3D commander Hilda will have the voiceover once the season begins. So if you already own the commander, you'll be able to enjoy the new VO lines. I like the VO, kind of makes the game a little bit more exciting. If you look underneath the team tank icons, you'll notice a bar as well as a percentage sign next to it. Both of those icons represent the team health. You can disable either the percentage or the bar or both of those icons together as well, but I highly encourage not to, or at least keep one of them, because this is very useful, at least for me, because most of the time we are losing on tanks and I'll feel that we are losing, but that is not generally the case, because we might be low on tanks but high on HP, and you can still hold instead of rushing out in the open, trying to recover the deficit in number of tanks. So very nice feature that I'm excited about, and I hope I can make more educational play and yet less mistake with these features. In addition, they have also updated the winning criteria. So the first criteria is the same, which is if you kill all or complete the objective. The second is whichever tank has higher number of tanks alive, they win. But if both the first two criteria are draw and you have the same number of tanks alive, they will look at whichever team has the highest percentage of hit points remaining. That's the new draw criteria they have added as the third tiebreaker, or the winning criteria. And then the last criteria is still the same, whichever team does more damage. If they have the same percentage of health remaining, so whichever team does more, they will win. But overall, this is the best feature that they have added in the game. I've been asking for it for years and glad to see it's finally here. Next we have is a returning feature, the select server button on the login screen. We had this feature and then they removed it, which made it pretty annoying when you had to switch server, because you had to log in to the game completely, then switch the server and then restart the game to move to the next server, and ended up wasting 5 or more minutes. Glad to see it's back, but sad it took that long for it to return. But nonetheless, it is now here. We also have Japanese Cold War tech tree line coming as part of this season. We got a sneak peek of the tanks that are available. We do see 3 out of 2 tanks, Type 74G, Type 74E, and Type 74. And there are 2 Era 1 tanks, STB-1 and Type 61B. I'm not sure if there's going to be Era 3 tanks, as they were not shown in the trailer, but we do know they at least have Era 1 and 2 tanks. So for those of you who are looking forward to Japanese tanks, they should be arriving soon. Next we have is the sneak peek into the Walhalla event. They didn't release any details, but only that it'll be part of Warlords season, and showcased 4 tanks. And this is the first tank on the list, and I'm not sure what this tank is. I'm not sure if it's an existing tank or a new tank, but this is the first one that was shown in trailer. Next we have is a 3D skin of Concept 1B, a reskinned URIS 1516, and a reskinned Kranwagen. I hope these are just the skins and not the new tanks because they look identical to the existing Tech Tree tanks, even though we did have 4 reskinned tanks as part of Ninja Turtles event. But I would like to see more unique tanks rather than reskins. The reskins here and there are fine, and I hope these are just like the 3D skins and not the reskins of the same tanks. I know they changed the stats a bit, but we'll have more details about Walhalla midway through the season, and looking forward to it. Looks like these events are becoming more regular, like the Halloween event we had or the Christmas event, and now we have this Walhalla event. So that's it for this video. Do let me know in comments what you think about the next season. I feel overall it's a balanced season, no broken tanks, more heavy, more mediums, more holding tanks or tanks that encourage holding gameplays, and as well as a returning map as well, and a team health bar, which is a quality of life feature. But yeah, do let me know in comments. What do you think about the season? Are you happy with the tanks? Do you prefer more from the season? Or what are you looking forward to the next season? Or you're just going to opt out against it? Do keep in mind that the Ultimate Season Pass this time, if you play Cold War, is worth the value because for 4,000 gold, you get 25.5k gold value. So don't miss out on that as well as on the basic Season Pass. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. And also, if you haven't checked out our community clan or the community Discord, make sure to check that out as well. Link in description. I'll catch you in the next one.